Our first reading, it says, every Sabbath he entered into discussion in the synagogue, attempting to convince both Jews and Greeks. At the look at this, Paul had just moved to a new region. He had just joined up with some Christians there and staying with them. So he decided to join them in their work, since they were doing the same thing as what he was trained to do. They were all tent makers. But yet, we know how hard that work must have been back then. And the week must have been long. And he must have been real tired after a week's work. But yet, he took time to go to the synagogue, no matter how tired he felt. But we have this, we do two work. We work 5 days a week, or we used to. And yet, when it comes to Friday afternoon, it's, thank God it's Friday. We're looking forward to the weekend. A weekend where we can do what we want. Not as we're told to do, but as we want. And yet, Paul must have had that same feeling when it came to the weekend. But yet, he's seen that he needed to live out his passion. And his passion was to do the will of God, to be part of that plan of God, that part that God had planned for him, to bring the message, to bring the good news to all around him, no matter who they were. And Paul looked forward to his time off so he could go to the synagogue and share his knowledge with others, to try to convince them that the good news is the life for them to live. But yet we feel the same way. We come to the end of our work week. We feel that we need to go home and relax. Yes, most Sundays we get up and we kind of force ourselves to go to church for a while and then go home and relax and do what we want. Maybe it's watch a football game. But yet, our passion also needs to be like Paul. We need to, in our time, to express our feeling about how we live and how we want others to live that good news that Paul was spreading. That good news is the same today as it was yesterday and the days of Paul. Sometimes we need to sit back and look and pray to God and say, God, am I doing with my free time as you want me to? If I'm not, show me where I need to make changes. And then through the Holy Spirit, God will bring those changes, if there needs to be any, into our hearts. As we discussed yesterday, we need to listen to the Holy Spirit with our hearts, not with our ears. We need to listen. We need to make sure that God has what God has in store for us. And if there is a change of plans, we need to listen to that. We need to make the attempt to change those plans. And to make it a passion in our life, to spread the good news, just as Paul did. We need to spread it to all. Not just to those that are willing to listen, but to all. If words don't work, then use the actions of our life. Live the good news. Show others how much of a passion the good news is for us.